Hey guys, it's me again, and today I came up with this look for you guys, just for you guys. And this look was based on a comment of one of my closest friends who asked me to make a video of my foundation routine, and that's what this video is based on. I hope you guys really like it, really enjoy. And yeah, I'll see you on the other side. All right, well, I washed my hands and I washed my face, and I've heard that the Pond's moisturizing cream became very famous after my first video on YouTube. So I just want to introduce you guys to the second cream that I also use from Pond's, which is the cold cream cleanser. And then I have the dry skin cream, which are these two. Oh my gosh, which are these two. The green one is for removing makeup and moisturizing your skin, and then this one is just for moisturizing your skin. You can also use it to remove, but that's more for this one. So now that we have the moisturizer where we need it, this moisturizer is very moisturizing, and I am combination to oily, so I can't put it on every part of my face, but I usually put it on certain areas and I just call it a day. So now that we have our skin all prepped and ready to be moisturized, I tend to not use the Smashbox, but in this occasion, actually let me find it. In this occasion, I will be using the Photo Finish Smashbox face primer, just for the fun of it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a pea-sized, you can't see it, a pea-sized amount, and just press it onto where you have the most pores, and you just do that anywhere that you feel you need the most coverage. So I took some time to let my moisturizer dry into my skin, and with that time I wet my beauty blender and I turned off my fan because I forgot that it was on. So what we're gonna do is that we're gonna prime our eyes, and I'm gonna be using this CoverGirl Simply Ages foundation that I use as a concealer in a way. Okay, so now that we have our eyes primed, as you see, I'm holding up the Jaclyn Hill palette, which, by the way, who is excited of the new, I think it's called Vault palettes that came out? Oh my gosh, I literally screamed and almost cried and ran to my mom, and she's just like, oh my gosh. But anyways, we're gonna move on to this yellow shade right here, and we're just gonna apply it all over. You can put it, if you want, you can put it on the lid and on your crease. I'm just gonna put it everywhere. What you do want to do when you are doing your eyeshadow is to make sure to not do like me sometimes and hold it the farthest away from your eyeshadow brush. And when you want to make sure you want to make sure that you blend it very close to your eyebrow bone. And if you want the most pigment to come out on the outer crease, then you just pat it. Once you're happy enough with the pigment, then you move on to your next shade. I'm gonna dive into these two first shades right here that are both different skin, almost very light mauve shades, and I'm just gonna put that lower in my crease, but more down to where that yellow, almost mustardy, baby pukey shade is. And if at this point you kind of lose the pigmentation to the yellow and you lose the yellow on your brow bone, it's okay. You can just go over it with the same brush and make sure, if you want, you can tap it again into the palette, and you can go over it again, but make sure you use a very light touch just so that the yellow is just poking out. This next step you don't have to do, but since I love putting some color under my eyes, I'm just gonna go over the same, I'm gonna put the same colors, these 3 same shades. It's just to make sure that everything goes nice and smooth and it looks great and gradient. And if you feel like you're going way too low for your under eye, it's fine because we haven't gone through concealer yet, so you can clean that up with concealer. But what we're gonna go over now is we're just gonna highlight the inner corner of the eye and the eyebrow bone and anywhere else you'd like. I personally like it that way, but if you have any other place that you like to highlight, you go ahead and do that. I almost forgot. I'm gonna take here, ooh, you can't see that. This shade right here, I'm gonna take this first shade and I'm gonna use that to highlight. Okay, so I know it seems very harsh, but what you can do is take that same brush that you use for that yellow shade and just go over it. Or you can also use a very clean brush just to go over it and blend it. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take any dark shade that you like. It could be brown, it could be black, and we're just gonna line like a flat, not like a wing liner, but just a solid line just to define and give yourself a cat eye or a wider of an eye just to make yourself look more fancy like that. Like I said, you don't have to make it messy. You don't have to make it nice and neat. You can do whatever you like just to make sure that it brings out and brings in some darkness and depth so that you can see that nice shape. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put eyeliner in my waterline and in my lash line just to make it more cat eye-ish in a way. If you see that you have a harsh line when you try to line your waterline, all you have to do is take a very small brush with nothing or the same powders, the same shades that you used under your eyes, and just blend it out. Okay, now I'm just gonna go in and put on some mascara. I'm gonna be using the Great Lash from Maybelline, and I'm just gonna be using that just to set my lashes for falsies. And I'm gonna be using the Wispy Multiple Pack from Ardell. Like I said, you don't have to put on lashes, but I personally love lashes since my favorite features are my eyes. Now we're gonna finally move on to the face. So what I'm gonna do now is that I am going to take, let me actually get it. I am going to use this Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation in shade, Y345, which is 1000% not my shade, but it does match my yellow undertones around my neck and my chest. I'm just gonna be taking a few pumps on the back of my hand, and I'm gonna be taking it from there with the sponge, and I'm gonna see, because once you use the sponge, it is very full coverage. I am looking for a very sheer, since I'm gonna be putting a translucent powder over it, and that's gonna make it more, it's gonna make the coverage even more. It's gonna cover a lot of my skin marks or my pimple scars. I am finished with my foundation, and I would just like to say that all in all, Makeup Forever, the HD, it's very sheer. So the most way that you can get the most coverage out of them is with the sponge. But if you want, I'm sure the L'Oreal Infallible Matte foundation is very affordable, drugstore, and very pigmented, very matte, a full coverage foundation that I am sure a lot of beauty bloggers have used in the past, and I'm pretty sure that those can fit your needs if you feel like this isn't full coverage enough for you. But like I said, I will be using a powder and concealer under this foundation, which will make it more of a foolproof, thick, the consistency feeling kind of thing. So with that, I'm going to be concealing with the same Ageless CoverGirl foundation concealer that I used on to prime my eyes, and I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use it as a triangle shape. I'm going to take the sponge, again, making sure that it is damp, very damp, but not soaking wet. You would want the most pigment, but to the blendability of you while using the sponge. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to bring it from the corner of the eye all the way down. And let me check myself. Yes, all the way down. And I would not suggest putting powder and setting your face right when you're done. Make sure that if you're using this kind of thick consistency or more of a cream or a liquid concealer or foundation, just wait until you're done with all of the creams and all of the liquids, and then you set your face. But once you have to set your face very fast after you're done. So I'm going to take that and I'm just going to bring it under the eyes. And this will, like I said, this will clean up if you went too low on your eyeshadow when you did your under eyes. And I'm just going to bring it out just to give yourself a more lifted effect. And make sure that when you choose your concealers or what you'll use under your eyes, make sure that it is either your shade in the same shade in foundation or 2 or 3 shades lighter than your foundation shade. And I'm just going to do exactly the same thing with this part of this eye, just making sure that I'm using dabbing motions and not swiping motions. And just so that you don't have just white right there and it being so popped out, what you can do is, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to highlight the rest of my face and to make sure it's all equal and it's not crazy looking and it's not like, oh my gosh, she has like white under eyes. What I'm also gonna do, you guys don't have to do, but since I have a very dark mustache, I'm going to just brighten this area by using that same concealer and bringing it all the way up here and just leaving it as if I'm gonna cup my cheeks, and that's, yeah. And now that we're done, I'm going to immediately set my face with any translucent powder that you may have. I have a very old, crusty translucent powder that used to be my great-grandma's and it was passed to my grandma. And I don't really think it was passed on to my mom. I just took it for myself and I was just like, it is mine and I will forever use it until it's gone. And then I actually have to go and buy some setting powder. But you guys can use it, and what you want to do, I'm just going to take it because it's inside. This is what happens when it's just what you gotta do. Basically what I'm doing is that I'm taking some powder and I am pressing it into the skin. I take a very small, this brush is from Style Studio. Why I chose a very small brush is because it gets into places, like very narrow places like my eyes that a big brush wouldn't reach to, and I really don't have under eye creasing. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna set the whole entire face, but right now I'm very focused on my under eye. Set the face with that same powder, making sure that with the powder, none of my foundation is gonna move, none of my concealer is gonna move, everything is just gonna stay in place exactly where I placed it. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna bronze up the skin, and I'm gonna take the Graveyard Girl palette. Ooh, the Graveyard Girl palette, and I'm gonna take her bronze shade. It's more like an orangey shade, but for me, I feel like it looks really nice on a day-to-day look. I'm gonna take the shade Sweet Tea, which is the bronze, oof, there we go, the bronze powder. So basically what you're gonna do is, I started already, I am so sorry. You're gonna take a little bit, you're always gonna go for a little bit of everything. You don't wanna go in with a lot because it takes a lot to blend. That goes for everything. That goes for eyeshadow, that goes for blushes, that goes for contour, that goes for highlighting even. Just go little by little. So what you're gonna do is that you are only gonna bring it halfway, because then you don't wanna, I mean, if you like it, then you do you, boo. But the best way to bronze up your skin or to contour, I'm kind of doing both, is to, once your contour is halfway, once you bronze it's everywhere, or honestly you can do whatever you like, but I just like to go halfway either way, even if I'm contouring, even if I'm bronzing. So like I said, you go in from here to here, but you know, sometimes I get crazy and I just go everywhere. You go below to just carve out your jawline. And I honestly have no existing jawline because I have a very nice, very luxurious triple chin. And I just sometimes like to accentuate my non-existent jawline. So that's what I do. Make sure not to bring it up above the jawline, because then that would give you a 5 o'clock shadow. Just make sure you just leave it on the line of your jawline, and then you blend it out. And right now I have a very harsh line, and that's what blending is for. So what you want to do is you want to take that same powder, and if you want a plumper lip but make it natural, you'll take your same bronzer or your contour and you go right under your lip, which will give you more of that like brought out lip like that. And oh my gosh, I forgot to put some chapstick on before I started. What I'm gonna do now is I'm going to pretend that I know how to contour my nose. How do I explain that? I know how to do it, but at the same time, I can only contour someone else's nose and I can't seem to contour my own. What you do, which is easy to explain for me, what you do is that you take a lighter shade of the bronzer or the contour that you have. I'm just gonna go in with the same one. Actually, I'm gonna go in with this palette that I used in my first video. I think it was my first video. I'm gonna go in with this lighter brownish shade, and I'm gonna contour my nose or bronze up my nose with that. You're gonna want to bronze up or contour the bottom. If you have a droopy nose, then this would work perfect for you. If you don't, then it'll do the same thing. It'll just give yourself more of a button nose and a lifted nose. Now that we have our contouring and our brightening already set and done, it's time to highlight. Now, there's surprisingly some steps to highlighting the right way. You don't, I repeat, you do not, let me back up. You do not, for the life of you, want to highlight the areas that you do not like to show. You highlight the areas that you like and that you want to accentuate more and that you want to just show off. You don't want to go too low and you don't want to go way too high. And when you highlight your nose, you can highlight your nose either way you'd like. Just make sure that you are very comfortable when you do. When you highlight the Cupid's bow, just make sure it doesn't look stark white and that you look like you ate a powdered donut and are leaving it for leftovers. And for your nose, that is on you. I tend to not moisturize. I tend to not highlight my nose just because I am, like I said, I am combination to oily skin. And in this area, especially my chin, it gets very oily, aside from my cheeks that get very dry throughout the day, and the tops of my forehead and my unibrow gets very dry, but you just want to make sure that you do what you're most comfortable with. So I'm gonna go in with the Megaglo highlighting powder. Ooh, the Megaglo highlighting. Oh my gosh, the Megaglo highlighting powder in shade Precious Petals. And you're just gonna go like that. You can tap off the excess if you'd like. Most of the time I don't, just to get the maximum pigment. And what you're gonna do is just go on the tops like that. And if you'd like, what I like to do is bring them more closer to the front of my face so then you can see that beam. And mostly because I don't tend to use blush, I want some kind of highlight and some kind of focus to bring in attention to the front of my face and not how chubby or wide my face is. So now that you're satisfied with the highlight that you have, you can take, ooh, I lost it, hold on. I'm just gonna use this since I have it in hand. I'm in fear because in my mind, it's almost out. In Florida, it gets really hot and humid. And either way, by the end of the day, my skin is gonna look dewy because of how humid it is. So I tend to only use 2 spritz. You can use more, you can go crazy and use 10. But I use 2, and you want to make sure that it's in a safe spot to the point where it's not soaking your skin. What I usually do is that I cover my eyes since I tend to spray too closely in my first spray, and then that makes my lashes fall off. Or what I also do is that I wait to put on my lashes last, and then once I have sprayed, done all my foundation and everything that I had to do, once I'm done and ready to get out, then I put on my lashes. What you also want to do is just stare straight and to blink as less possible as you can. I did end up putting the spray inside my eyeball just in an attempt to save my lashes, and that was horrible. And now what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna put on a lippy. I chose the Exposed from the Kylie birthday kit, and I'm just gonna put that on my lips, and I think that'll be it. So I just finished my liquid lipstick, and actually I feel like this kind of goes with the eyeshadow, I'm not gonna lie. So basically this is it. This is the look for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I actually like this. Okay, how do I explain? So this is my first ever video actually doing my makeup on camera, and I am freaking out still. I was so nervous to actually show you guys what I am capable of and what I can do, because I know that there's so many critics out there just not really critiquing, but sometimes it's more like hate, and I honestly know what I am capable of. Most of the time when I do my makeup, I go in not knowing what I'm gonna do with my face. I go in just clueless as to what my plans are, the routine, the tricks, all of that. I was just thinking like, not too long ago, I was thinking like, I'm doing this for I'm doing this for the fun of it, and because I love doing my makeup. This is for pure fun. This is for pure entertainment. And honestly, I feel so good of the fact that I let myself go and I let everything go into doing this video and making it for you guys. And honestly, oh my God, I'm gonna cry. And honestly, I am doing this for you guys because I get so nervous into doing my makeup outside of my home thinking that so many people that I care about, that I think are the most important people in my life, are gonna go down and throw shade and throw shame at me. Honestly, I've been getting so many comments on so many, like a lot of my videos, a lot of my posts on Snapchat, a lot of my posts on Instagram of encouragement and of love and appreciation. I literally, now that I'm thinking of it, I'm literally almost to tears of how much you guys are supportive. I don't know how many of you are actually from my channel. I mean, I don't know if, I don't know how many of you are actually not a part of my family, not of my friends, but I'd like to thank you, and I'd like to thank my family, and I'd like to thank my friends that are supporting me in this channel. I love you guys so, so much, and this wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for you and if it wasn't for the idea of having you guys here with me. Honestly, this is so much more than what I thought it would be like. I was so nervous in the beginning of this video to actually record this. I was so skeptic as to thinking that you guys would hate this already and that I would hate it already. And I actually don't hate this. I love this. So with that, please like this video, subscribe, hit that bell down below, become one of my beauties. If you've gotten this far, please comment down below a poop emoji. I love that emoji so that I know how far you guys got into the video. I know it's gonna be a pretty long video. Hopefully I can shorten it down. But I love you guys so, so, so much, and I'll see y'all the next week, and I love you, and bye. If you see that you have a harsh line when you do your eyeliner, the inner part, from close between okay.